Commissioner, beautiful day here at the McCarran Marketplace, a unique parks and recreation facility. As you can see, soccer, lacrosse, and football. But look at that turf out there. I know you know a lot about that. Tell me about that turf that was installed last September.
It's beautiful, isn't it? So for 10 years, we had the first park fields here that had synthetic surface on them. But over the course of time, those surfaces deteriorated to the point that it became a risk to operate them, and we had to close them down. And we had them closed for a couple of years. My predecessor, Mary Beth Scow, had this as a priority. I adopted that priority, and it was very difficult because we were just barely coming out of the downturn in the economy, and in order to have the resources, we knew we were going to have to be able to bond this and many other projects. But we stayed after it and got the most incredible, useful fields. These fields are in huge demand. In fact, we've recently talked with UNLV. They need some space for lacrosse, and I think we found them some dates, but it was not easy because the dates for these fields have been taken. They're beautiful fields. We opened with Del Sol's girls soccer, and they played a few games here, a couple of games, I guess, 2 games on the day that we opened the park, and the reports were that everyone loved it. This is the very newest synthetic turf that is available. It tends to cause less of a heat problem. It is easier on legs and joints. It has been really well received. We're so excited to have it, and it's beautiful. It really is beautiful. And then striping it so that we could play the 3 sports on it was really important to us, and we've got demand for all 3 sports.
And I know the Coolplay artificial turf, it's 3 layers, and as you can see, it's 7 months. It looks like those lines were just painted on there, but it's some new technology on there that those are guaranteed not to fade.
That's right. This will not fade, like so many do. This isn't painted. This is sewn into the fabric. The fabric is actually woven in. So this is everything you can possibly get today, and we're really proud of it.
Commissioner, I know yourself and through Parks and Recreation, you took this to the stakeholders, and maybe a bit of a surprise, we're on some grass area here, and I think maybe everyone thought that sure, these players would want real turf, but they overwhelmingly wanted this type of artificial turf for their play.
That's exactly right. We spent time with soccer clubs and soccer teams trying to understand their needs and their desires, and principally I think we would have to acknowledge this is largely soccer. But lacrosse is a growing sport, and we really needed to do something to accommodate lacrosse too. Without question, they wanted this kind of a turf, but we didn't want dirt. We didn't want rocks adjacent to it. The shade is really kind of off of all of the turf, and we needed to have something underneath it that families and spectators could relax on and have an enjoyable time.
District G has some of the most unique, some of the oldest, and some of the best parks in all of Clark County. Let's go down the list of some of the improvements and things that are going on in your district, Commissioner. Of course, Sunset Park. Anybody that drives down Sunset knows there's always people playing those tennis courts and pick-up basketball, but those surfaces were getting run down. Talk a little bit about the surfaces.
So we've resurfaced the basketball and tennis courts. We have been working on improvements to the volleyball, the beach volleyball courts that we have out there. And we've got a new concept that we're bringing. The fastest growing sport in America, we're told, is pickleball. And we decided that Sunset Park was the ideal location to build a 24-court complex that would serve as a place where regionally and even nationally we could have tournament play. So the pickleball community is excited to death. It's not the fastest thing happening. I mean, it takes a lot of reprogramming to take a facility that is in such huge demand as Sunset Park and reprogram enough space that we can build these courts. But we have an engineer now that has been selected. He's doing the design work. We're looking very hard at all the surfaces and how best to do this. This will be cutting edge. It'll be the best we can do. We're very excited about it.
I think the last time we sat down, Commissioner, was at Horseman's Park, where in the east part of the valley, and seeing some major improvements there, the new covered arena, improvements to the announcer's booth, and also some roadway improvements out front there, just to kind of let everyone announce that you're at Horseman's Park.
We really needed to do some things so that we made it safer to get in and out, right? And of course, it's a real jewel in southern Nevada, so it needed to have an entrance. The utility of the facility has been improved such that we can extend the period in the year when we can actually do events there with a cover. And the booth that we're doing is not just a renewal, it's brand new. And it'll enhance the entire experience. I'm so excited to see what we've done, and it won't be long, and we'll be looking at those improvements. It'll be a lot of fun.
A couple of the other older parks, I know Paradise Vista and Pebble also getting some restrooms and general improvements, things like that. And Silver Bowl Park, also some walking trails there that will actually link up with the very popular Duck Creek trailhead.
That's right. So one of the things that's been a priority of mine in public service has been trails, both hiking and bicycle trails. And what we're doing over there is something that will link a trail system that we already have in place, but we've needed to join them up. So we're going to be doing some things that'll really be exciting. It'll expose the park and the improvements there and the natural things that are not improvements. They are the natural environment to a much better human experience. So we're excited for all of that. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be the kind of development that'll benefit not just my district, but the entire valley.
Let's talk about one of your neighborhood parks, maybe one of the most underrated parks in the whole valley, and I think that is Whitney. Obviously, there's a new, that's a multi-gen center, and getting a new aquatics center there. That Whitney entire complex means so much to that neighborhood.
Well, it's been a place where I've spent an enormous amount of time. There's great demand there. The youth programs there are probably as large as any other community center we have in the entire valley, at least that the county has in the entire valley. We run basketball and indoor kind of gym focused activities there constantly. And the count can be upwards of 100 kids in that facility at all times. We needed to have more than just a pool there. It's great to have a pool, but the hardship associated with signing your kid up if you work 2 jobs and you're a single mom has been something that we've had to deal with, and we understand it. So we're doing a splash pad and some other aquatics things that will bring the water kind of out to the neighborhood and really make improvements there. Over time, we're going to do a lot more. We're going to change the pool. We're going to bring in, slides and the whole shooting match, and it'll be a terrific benefit to that community. That's an older community. The thing we have to be careful of is that we're not constantly doing all the new great stuff in the new areas of the valley that are developing now and ignoring some of the older things. We need to refresh and improve and bring more to certain parts of the valley, and that's one of the areas that's going to get a lot of attention.
And I know you're continuing on with what your predecessor held there with the movie in the park there. As we have beautiful weather here, you fire up some cameras and pop up some corn. And
a week ago we had a movie. We have another one coming up shortly.
Many of these events are coordinated with the Southeast Area Command and the STOP program, the Safety Through Outreach and Prevention. Very important to get Metro involved in that community.
Metropolitan Police Department and that command has been critical and essential to the improvements that we've had over there. Crime is down. It's not completely under control by any means, but it is down. The impacts of homelessness, both on the homeless and on the surrounding neighborhoods, is something that's always on our minds and we're constantly trying to address. I'm working with landowners in the area now to avoid some of the nuisance areas that we need work on. We need help from the private sector because we can't do it all ourselves. But all of those things together have included a really important partnership between Metropolitan Police Department and the community, and my office, but the Metropolitan Police Department and the community.